Hello, hello. Back at it again. With some random garbage. Although or today. I was about to say this day, but that's not how you say today in English. Today, I have a deadline. Or tomorrow I have a deadline. So today I need to stop early. And also, that's why I'm telling myself I'm allowed to eat a lot of junk food. Oh no. I thought I saw something. Oh, it's Isa. Thank you very much for the host. So let me get started. It should be pretty quick, I think. Just keep this on something completely random and boom. Oh no. Boom. Here we go. Let's pull everything up. Hopefully this will be pretty quick. I think this will be a shorter stream. As the usual. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. I am doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm a little frazzled. A little frazzle-dazzled today. Let's watch this productive stream with coffee in hand. It's about what I'm going to be doing as well. I don't usually drink coffee at this time of day, mostly because it really messes with my sleep schedule. But as soon as I finish this up, because it is more or less pretty close to being finished, because it's a documentation generator, as the title probably says. Yeah, running a doc generator. Yeah. I'm gonna be signing off and then going back to work. Because at real work, IRL job, I only, like yesterday, got the go ahead to start working on my tasks. It's one of those things I don't quite understand. It's like, we need to do all of these things, but also you're not allowed to work. What? What does that mean? And then, okay, now you're allowed to work. Also, the deliverable was due Friday. All right, well, I guess that's what we're doing. Haha. So, that's what I'm trying to do. So, I thought it'd be really quick. As it turns out, there's the little slice of the S390X architecture, so aka it's a mainframe. Oh, thank you for reading my hydrate. The mainframe that we're working with is very slow, or the LPAR of the mainframe that we're working with, where LPAR stands for logical partition, I think. Delicious water. It's gonna mix horribly with this coffee I'm about to chug. But yeah, look at that. Look at it hang. We can check our logs and see that it's actually gone through and scanned most of my code. So we have name. There's no name attached to a doc string just yet, but meta handler for code, blah blah. Params, text, type, string, description, the unaccosted code with an extra space at the end. Return value, type, reference, result of the operation, yada yada. So it runs through these things. So you can see here, meta handler for code. It processed that, right? Yeah. And then if I add other things like, or in the theory, if I add other things, so, so author, Timothy, Yuan. So we can run this again. Didn't actually need to regenerate, but makes me feel better about myself. Handles properties, handles doc strings. Yeah, there we go. So author is my name. Oh, I guess it's parsing them slightly strangely. But it's okay. So you can have multiple authors. So if you were to do, you know, author 2, or you can always pass it as a list as well. So it's very similar to how you would do a Java doc. So, you know, Godot. Godot. Hit it with a generate. It's not super quick, considering that what it is doing is it's scanning just every single GD file right now and then just printing it. Printing is pretty slow though. But some meta handler, so there's my name, then there's Godot plus the new line at the very end. Those are pretty easy to strip out. I'll take this out. So I think this is pretty neat. IMO. So now I just need to, as always, I've written a lot of cool stuff. Now I just need to hook them all together. So handle docstring. It's pretty good, I think, because most things are pretty easy to handle. The only kind of oddities are param, parameter, and return. So param and parameter map to the same thing. Return, of course, is a return. I suppose that's pretty obvious. So param needs to be in this format, so it is backwards compatible or forwards compatible with Godot 4 and how it does its own docstring stuff. Godot 4's docstring implementation is very limited though, since it only has support for description. So you have short description, long description, and I think that's it. I think that's it. That's all you have for Godot 4, which is kind of weird. And it's also built explicitly into the parser. So in theory, it should be very fast, but also I think it means that the parser is a bit slower. Or it might be faster, I don't know. But you always have the overhead of parsing for doc strings in the in Godot 4, which in most cases shouldn't matter, probably. Let me see. I think lots of this is okay. We don't need to print it anymore. So we have our working doc string. Then here, you can see I've kind of started writing a thing. Did you say something bad about Godot 4? Yeah, Godot 4 is pretty bad. I was working with it a few days ago. Just in my free time, I was poking at it. And it just kept crashing for no reason. So the Alpha 7, Alpha 8 was released today, but the Alpha 7 kept crashing for me. And then I also built it from source, and that also kept crashing, so. You know, RIP to all the people that wants Godot to be out by Christmas. I strongly doubt it. I think there'll be a beta, for sure. Beta out by like October, and then we'll be in beta for forever. But yeah, I think this should be backwards and forwards compatible with Godot 4 as well. Yeah. But I just need this for my one project, which is why I'm trying to puzzle it out. So here we go. We have a handle prop, and then we'll want to do consolidate. Is that not what I called it? There should be like a consolidate somewhere. What did I imagine that? Didn't I write like a consolidate thing somewhere? No? Perhaps not. I thought I wrote a thing for that. Am I crazy? I swear I wrote something like that. Ooh. Excuse me? Oh, hello? It is what it has to be in alpha and not an RTM gold. What? What? It is what it has to be in alpha and not an RTM gold. Hello, Gareth. Oh my god. Am I losing my mind? I thought I wrote something for this. Did I just like accidentally delete it for no reason? I swear I've seen it before. Yeah. Kind of weird language is that? Which language are you talking about? You mean the one that you're seeing on screen? Or is it something different? Okay. Maybe I just like deleted it for some reason. That happens sometimes. The one that's on screen, it's GD script. It's the built-in scripting language used by Godot. It's very similar to Python. Consolidate. Consolidate docs. So then you'll need the member doc data, and then the actual doc string doc data. Yeah, it's very similar to Python, except unlike Python, you need to explicitly declare variables. So, you know, var stripped is equal to line strip edges. It also supports the Golang style syntax of, you know, infer the variable here. So no one knows what's happening then. I don't know anything about Python. Python is pretty easy. Python is pretty easy. I also sometimes write stuff in Rust or C++ as well. Like this is a custom build of the engine. Can't I see? Yeah, this is a custom build. Look at that. Statically typed poggers. Yeah. Well, static typing in GD script is just like static typing in Python. It's just a suggestion. It's just a suggestion. What the heck? Get me out of here. Don't save. I need to stop mixing the two editors. It's freaking me out. Yeah. I think this is better than Python in my opinion, but consolidate dictionaries. So member. No, we'll call it member, right? Some sort of dictionary, and then the doc string. Dictionary. Doing PHP right now, I really miss static typing. PHP, it's okay. It's okay. I think there are benefits to dynamic typing. Right, like GDScript also supports just like dynamic typing, I guess. Is it weak typing or is it weak typing or dynamic typing? No, it's GDScript is strongly typed, but is strongly and dynamically typed. Yeah, I don't remember what PHP is. I'm pretty sure JavaScript is weakly typed, though. So JavaScript is both dynamic and weakly typed. So once you assign a variable, you can assign just a different value to it of a different type. Whereas in GDScript, once you assign a variable once, you cannot assign another value of a different type to it. PHP is weakly typed and dynamic. Well, that sucks. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that prefer the looseness of it. There's a lot of people that like the looseness of it, for sure. Man, I could have sworn I wrote something for this, but it's just not coming back to me for some reason. It's almost as if like I accidentally deleted the code. Or did I just dream that I wrote the code before? It's also very possible. It's weird. For a string, you might make it a flow, which is painful. I mean, weakly typed. Yeah, well, I know JavaScript, you need to do it as, what is it? Like double equal sign is just the value of the expression. whereas triple equal sign compares the actual contents of the expression, something like that. There's a difference between double equals and triple equals in JavaScript, I don't remember. So isn't like in like JavaScript, let me see. How do you bring up the dev console again? Because I don't have a standard keyboard. It's like F12, right? So you can do, isn't 1 is equal to 1? Is that, no, that's false. 1. Yeah, okay, yeah. 1 is equal to 1, but then if you do, yeah. 1 is equal to 1, but 1 is not equal to 1. Yeah, JS does casting, does content and type checking, something like that. Yeah. It's one of those things. I've looked it up before. All I know is that you almost never want to use double equal sign. Similar is still quite messed up. Yeah, I don't know. I mostly just write Java. Well, I write Java, Groovy, Python. I guess you could count Ansible playbooks as one of those. For key in, get property list. If, oh, this is property, so for prop in member property list. Groovy is my arch nemesis. Yeah, not a huge fan of Groovy, although it does have some good ideas for sure. It's like, I'd rather just write Java. But really the only thing people use Groovy for anymore is to write Jenkins pipelines. And you might have to write Gradle build scripts. Well, I don't know. I don't write any Gradle build script stuff. No, I work for a company that is more behind Maven. So Maven's okay. Maven's okay if you just get used to interacting with a POM XML. A POM file, if you will. So var value, or this is member value is equal to member, or no, it's not member. We want to look for docstring stuff, right? Well, no, it doesn't matter which one we pull from. So member gets prop name. So these are actually all dictionaries, but in GD script you can use a syntactic sugar to just use a dot operator instead. We'll match type of member value. So if it is type array, I've written this exact thing before, I swear. Type string. So these are the only 3 values I support. Otherwise, this should be return. No, I have written this before. What the heck? Did I just lose my code? Because this is here as one of my error constants. Oh, this is strange. Do like one of my friends instead of Gradle just use shell scripts? Can you even use shell scripts for that? I don't know. I suppose it does make sense because Gradle is basically just a fancy interpreted Java almost. Sounds very complicated though. Okay. So we return the error value. Otherwise, we just return the member. That'll be our only error type. Here, we'll have the member value and then the docstring value, which is equal to docstring. So here, if docstring value empty, then we'll just continue because there's nothing in the docstring to copy over. Because what the flow is it will run from top to bottom in the file, and you see that the docstrings are actually first, and then we find whatever they're attached to. Java-C and jar. Oh yeah. I guess you could just manually call those. That sounds like a pain. Let's into a jar. Like 4 lines of shell script. Yeah, if you're working with a very simple very simple project. It gets a bit harder once you start doing, pretty much the only reason to use Java nowadays is to use Spring Boot. And then have all the auto-injected dependencies and stuff. I'm familiar. I wrote Java for 3 years, professionally. It's a lot of fun debugging why like your auto-injected dependency isn't the correct type. I was like, oh, sorry. Your DAO object was improperly configured in your POM. Sorry. Pains with shell scripts? Not really. I mean, I don't really know how auto-injection works in Java. I think it's just one of those things that just happens auto-magically, as they like to say. Yeah, we scan these, and then we scan the docstring afterwards. So we just scan the header of whatever it is. So then here we need to consolidate it too, because these two things are only linked like that. They're only linked if there is no space. Yeah. But I don't think a shell script covers auto-injection dependencies or auto-test or auto-pulling dependencies or all that. 4 lines of shell script doesn't sound right. So that's the right job for Minecraft modding, but 10-year-old version, the code is generally even more crisp than whatever heck I could create. Yeah, well, that's the reality of any big code base, which is why I'm actually rewriting this. This is actually the docstring generator, or doc generator. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, by the way, Srez Cat. Yeah. So I wrote this thing. It's all available on my GitHub. Let me see. Here it is. There's the command, GitHub. Nope, my bot is broken. It happens sometimes. Sometimes the container just enters a restart loop. I don't know why. I need to move it out of the hosted whatevers. It's on a hosted Kubernetes instance, but I think the image that I have it set to is incorrect. Yeah, the code base for this is pretty garbage. Yeah, any big code base inevitably trends towards spaghetti. There's not really any way around it. So if docstring value is empty, then just continue. Otherwise, so the result is equal to consolidate dictionaries. So it's the member value and then the docstring value, because we don't know what they are. We're just kind of doing this at runtime. So if res is error, so this is one way that you can do error handling in GD script. It's actually fairly similar to how you would do it in Golang. So if not res or res is error, return res if res, else results error generic, please. I think that's okay. It's hard to say. Can't I just pass in one of these? No, you gotta do something. So error code generic. It's called generic, right? Yeah. No, there's no generic. There's just null value. What the heck? That's probably fine. None. That's why it wasn't giving me code completion. And then we'll do member dot set prop name to result unwrap. Yeah, one of those. I mean, yes, there's a difference between spaghetti and Mojang level spaghetti. Not really, no. I mean, Every single code base tends towards spaghetti. You have to be very, very strict with how development works if you don't want something to break immediately, right? So if docstring value empty, so it's what that usually takes the form of at most companies is just unit testing, but unit testing spaghetti just leads to more spaghetti. No, you need to have like a very strict set of just project standards, strict code review, all the whole shebang. I think that takes like 256 integers at most. It requires multi-threading, or requires multi-threading, probably. I mean, yeah, you know. So it's called a job thread. So I'm assuming that they're not spinning up and spinning down the thread every single time. That's a pattern called a job thread. So you keep the thread running, and it only works off of a specific amount of data that you throw to it, and then you should, you know, then wait for the job thread to continue or to finish processing whatever you gave it, right? I've done the same thing actually. So for real-time lip syncing that I wrote in Rust, they create a new thread every time. That sounds incorrect, and also extremely slow. Also extremely slow. So it's possible, yeah, it's possible, but that's the same process that I use here. So like this is just Rust, right? So join handle, blah blah, create job, so it's in job. Forgot I put that in here. Yeah. So it just creates a job with 2 message passing channels. So bidirectional, without pulling an external dependency to handle that for me, which might be a bad idea. But then I can just pass data packets back and forth. I'm assuming, like, the reason why it's slower is because spinning up threads is pretty slow. It's not the same thing as a green thread, which is just a coroutine. But yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for it, but that doesn't sound right to me. That doesn't sound right to me. Or if you're saying that they're pulling from a thread pool, that's not the same. If you pull from a thread pool, so when you're pulling from a thread pool, it looks like you're spinning up a new thread, but you're actually not. It's actually the same thing as a job thread, except you're basically take as many threads as you're allocated and just kind of let them spin until you actually give them something to work on, right? So you can mix job threads with thread pooling. I'm thinking that job thread is probably not the accepted nomenclature. So if member value empty, then member value is just equal to, what is it called? Docstring value. Otherwise, actually, I think I could put this in one line. It's doable. Docstring value. Because then all I'm doing is just setting it back on the member, right? So member set property name, member value. Oh, actually, no. Maybe you could. Member value. I think it's just more readable this way, though. Because I think to do it in one line, the way you would have to do it is member set prop name. And then it's just equal to docstring value if member value empty, else. Yeah, actually this will work. Yeah, because I really should be putting these on new lines as well. What am I doing? So plus equals, but then you could do member value docstring value. All right, that's not so bad. Yeah, it just requires a little multi-line shenanigans like so. So right, and the reason why any flying machine or whatever with like at least 500 stained glass windows would slow down the entire computer. Flying machine. Isn't that more based off of whatever mods that you have running at the time? So a poorly written mod will also, of course, slow things down significantly. Because Minecraft doesn't really have flying machines, right? Minecraft doesn't really have flying machines. So as far as I understand it, how Minecraft does chunking is it's only chunks on your x-axis. Or not your x-axis, your x and z-axis, assuming that y is up. And so everything that's on your vertical axis isn't really chunked. It's just kind of loaded in, so it doesn't matter how high up or how far down you are in Minecraft, because the chunking only works on your x and z axes. So if docstring value is empty, whatever, otherwise we'll do member value. Actually, it doesn't matter, right? We'll just always append it. So even if it is empty, it shouldn't matter. Oh, but then I need the check to see. I see. Well, no, because they're arrays, and so I think I have it. So none of these will. Yeah, these are all just arrays of strings. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It totally has flying machine. I'm an expert in them. They absolutely exist. Do they? That doesn't sound right. Minecraft flying machine. Oh, maybe. What are they? Oh. It's a user generated kind of thing, right? Or is it? When was this added? What the heck? Yeah, it's kind of like a weird. Yeah, okay. So it's like a weird hack. Okay. And then it okay, interesting. Works in all versions since like 2010. Yeah, okay. So it's just like a weird redstone thingy. Okay. Sure. Sure. I suppose. Yeah, with pusher blocks and redstone logic, that makes sense, I guess. Okay. So member val appends array docstring value, so we just append that, and then member sets prop name member. Okay. And as always, user generated. Like, it's not even like redstone code isn't. Well, redstone code isn't optimized for one, because it does need to work in the world. And two, I mean, it's impressive, to be sure. It's pretty fun. It's less fun than looking at the code and laugh at whatever the heck the devs wrote, not gonna lie. Well, I suppose like the Minecraft devs don't really take too much offense, considering how much money they made. So, you know, I guess that's the question, right? Is, you know, if their code is so bad, why did they make so much money, right? And that in that lies the secret, is that bad code, it doesn't matter if you write bad code. What you need to write is code that gets you across the finish line, code that works, right? A little bit of spaghetti, it's okay. As long as you can balance it so it doesn't become completely untenable. All right, so this needs to go through every single key that's in docstring, yes. So it's in opposite order, or in this case, which thing we read first matters here, because every dictionary isn't guaranteed to be the same. Yeah. So for D key in docstring keys. So we'll have the D value is equal to docstring D key. And then something that's a bit tougher. Man, I wrote this before, man. Mad. I must have like accidentally closed it without saving before. Or sometimes what happens is if you make a change here and then make a change here, they can overwrite. Yeah, that's probably what happened, which is very unfortunate. So type of, or type array. This one's pretty easy. It's really just, so if member has D key, pretty much how they think whenever a new update comes out. Not gonna lie, we need to add a glow effect to that item, just make it render 15 times in a loop. I don't know. I can't speak enough, or I can't speak in an educated way about Minecraft internals, but I can sympathize with them. I can sympathize with them. Of course, there's tons of optimizations that could be made, but you know, at the end of the day, they have their deadlines, just like I have my deadlines, right? Which is why I need to finish this as quick as possible so I can get working on my my actual work stuff, which is deploying Kubernetes stuff onto a mainframe, which is not a very common task, but I'll be right back. I need to get some coffee. Oh, whoops. Hello, I'm back with coffee. Let me see. Now, talking about rendering way too many times in a loop, I think this application used to run at 60 FPS and also pull at however fast your processor can handle. So for most people, that's about 100 times a second. You used to pull the server for face tracking data as fast as possible. So someone noticed that and fixed that for me. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We should really only ever pull like as fast as you set the tracking to be. That makes more sense, as opposed to doing it as fast as possible. Although I did it as fast as possible, right? Initially, because I was thinking, hold on. We can do var mval is equal to member get d key empty. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was originally thinking that there might be a little bit of delay, so doing it every if you tag the pull rates, because this is not, you know, a standalone application. It relies on a receiver application or a sender application. This is the receiver, right? So if you pull as fast as your receiver or as your sender, you'll introduce a little bit of delay. But I guess it doesn't really matter, since you can see here that if you're tracking at low FPS anyways, it's gonna look kind of bad. So you might as well just, if you interpolate it, you kind of hide a lot of the scuff, right? So if mval, well actually, no, then we can just do mval append array, our dval, which is our docstring value. So we want to do append array, not append, because append will just add the array without unwrapping it. Whereas append array will unwrap our array, and then you'll just have two arrays, which is really nice. So member d key is equal to mval. Yeah, so this needs to be in separate steps. But actually, this could be shortened. No, you can't do that. Yeah, you must separate it out into 3 steps because append array is a void return. Yeah. So type dictionary var mval is member get d key. So null safe, just return an empty dictionary. Yeah, and then result is equal to, okay, give me 1 sec. Result is equal to consolidate dictionaries. So there's your mval and your dval. So if res is error, or also we need to do if not res or res is error, return res if res, because res is a reference. So references can be null, so you can null check them like this. So if res, otherwise return a new result error code none. I should really change that so you can create a new one just based off of a default. I think I'll change that right now. Yeah, code none. Yeah. So this is just generic error, I suppose. Well, then this needs to change. So open up result. Is that not result? Oh, result is just up here. Oh, these don't actually, I don't actually use these, right? No, I do. Yeah, I do. What the heck? Boom. So error code is code none. Error code none. So we can save this. And, all right, cool. Where is it? So return something, if possible. Otherwise, we then need to... Well, actually, no, that consolidates it. That's, yeah, that's pretty much consolidated. Yeah. So these are all dictionaries. So d key is equal to mval. Yeah, because what this does is it consolidates everything from docstring into the member dictionary. Yeah, and then it consolidate dictionaries. It'll recursively do it. So if you have dictionaries inside of dictionaries, it will recursively add everything from the docstring dictionary over to the member dictionary. Yeah. And then I think these, the params and the return value, are really the only ones that should have nested dictionaries. Or actually, it's really only params. And then the params might not even have anything inside of the dictionary. So, yeah, that's pretty easy. So type string. This is pretty much a copy paste from this. So if docstring value is empty, well, we don't care if it's empty or not, right? This is just var mval is equal to member get d key, otherwise empty. So member set, or it's not member set, it's member d key is equal to dval if mval empty, otherwise we'll hit it with a little bit of string formatting. So mval dval. Yeah. Otherwise, anything else, any other type is unhandled, since everything should just come to me as a string. So if I ever accidentally pass something that shouldn't be there, Yeah, this is basically just unhandled doc property. Yeah, there we go. So just cascade the error. So bubble it up in Rust terms. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll return member. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. That looks good. All right, so then here, okay. So handle property, and then we need to hit it with a consolidate docs. Did I actually finish that? I did, okay. So consolidate docs, so then you'll have your property thingy, so unwrap. And then you'll have your working doc, which is already unwrapped. All right, here. Else. All right, this is just a generic error, which is gonna be a huge pain to have to debug later. You know what? I'm taking that out. I've realized that that's no longer the best course of action. I should just try, I should endeavor to return a real error whenever possible. All right. So this is, what errors? Unhandled doc property. File does not exist, blah, blah. What kind of error is this? This is, unspecified, or generic docstring error. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So error code, one of these, and then it's hard to say what I should even put here. We can put the counts, right? So string. So we'll always have this thing. So let's do this null safely. So if docstring res, else this thing. Yeah, it's very, very verbose, but there's not really any way around it, right? Because I kind of lack your standard try catch functionality. All right, so that is or actually this should be unhandled, this thing. Yeah. And then we'll do this. This is D key. Yeah, that's pretty good. Consolidate docs. This gives me an error prop or results. So then we need to check this. So if not, prop result or prop result is error. Yeah, this docstring stuff. Docstrings are just docstrings. You don't need to mess with them. Yeah. But then here, if the line length is less than 1, then that means it's a completely empty line. And then if working doc, then we'll want to apply that. Yeah. So if working doc is not null, now I'll need to apply this to the entire file. It's my E double clicking. Just gotta check. All right. Because I know I didn't press hash twice, but you never know. I'm scarred from my times from having to Well, I had a, what was it? I had a MacBook Pro a few years back. The ones with the, not the scissor switches, but the butterfly switches. I actually liked how the butterfly switches felt, but they also failed on me. And then every now and then, my D key would double click. And I'm like, this is the worst, man. So handle code. And then this needs to be, this actually, I don't think it needs to be consolidated, or actually, no, it does need to be consolidated with whatever. Yeah, but here we need to null it afterwards. So working doc is now null. Should probably just have like a sentinel to take the place of it. So where a sentinel means like, is not a null piece of data, because null values are really hard to work with, right? Because null values don't tell you anything about what used to be there. All you know is that it's null. So at least a sentinel, you'll be like, all right, well, at least we didn't crash and burn, and then we can recover gracefully from it, right? So consolidate this stuff. Don't I just have like a regular result somewhere? Or no? Maybe I don't. Let's change this to just results. Result, 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 result. Okay, and then this should also just be result, right? Because it's just easier to work with. Okay. It's very Golang style. Very, very Golang. So what am I doing here? Then I just have the big doc in the sky, which is documentation, right? Documentation, and then based off of what thing it is, we can do, that's doc data. This is documentation. Okay. Yeah, so I won't do it in order. We'll actually just do it in like the order that I encounter everything in. Something like that. So this should be documentation. What is it called? This is a property. Oh, but then I don't know what kind of property it is. I need to check to see what kind of I need to check to see what thing it is. Bundled text. Okay, I see. So here we, okay. So I need the property type from it. That is, that's the most important part here, because I need to be able to organize them properly. So, if script begins with pass enum prop types. So we'll have var const enum, and then there's not really anything different there, but oh, you know what? Yeah, a lot of things got deleted. So this should be handle static function. Handle static func. Go. Handle docstring, no, but handle func. Let's just add a new entry in for this. Please. Elif. Stop! What the heck? Stripped. That's why I hate having tab completion. Unfortunately, computer's not quite smart enough to keep up just yet. Yeah, so this stuff is all the same between the two. But they do need to be handled very, very slightly differently. So we might as well duplicate a little bit of code to simplify my life later. Handle static func. So then bundled text. And then there's bundled text. Bundled text is an array. List array, blah blah. When do I clear this? So handle docstring, blah blah. Handle docstring. What do I do with the list? Do I clear the list at any point? When do I clear it? So while blah blah. Continue. Da, 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 da. Okay. Bundled text clear. Yeah, that's probably good enough. So we need to remember to clear it before every single iteration, or yeah. Or no, bundled text is cleared because we create a new one every single iteration. Yeah, that's fine. That also works. That also works. So here, strict begins with var. We'll need to have prop type is equal to none. Prop types none. So if strip begins with var, then prop type is equal to begins with const. And yeah, I think you're not allowed to, yeah, those values are also case sensitive, so it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear. Doesn't appear like there's any simpler way to do this. It has to be a big if-else chain. Prop types enum begins with, there we go. Yeah, prop type is none. Then we'll just want to bail out as soon as possible. Return results. Error code. Unrecognized property type. Or yeah. Unrecognized prop type. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. And then we'll just pass along whatever line that we just happen to have there. Then we'll go through all of this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Da, da. And then based off of the prop type that we matched up there, we'll have prop types var. We'll do documentation. Right, this is for, yeah, property. Documentation. Okay. We might as well just add functions for these, right? Or why did I make these underscore? These should just be properties that I can access. File, yeah. Documentation. Appends res unwrap. Yeah. Right. Consolidate docs gives me back a reference, and then that reference should be... Yeah, okay, so it wraps all that good stuff. So add all data from the doc string to the member data. Something like that. So member, some sort of doc data, the doc data for the given property. Yeah, it's just doc data for the given member. Sure. Doc data for the doc string above a member. And then this will return a result containing a doc data. Yeah. Consolidated doc data. Something like that, right? I think that's pretty good. And then this is something that's called recursively. So consolidates to param doc string the okay, let me see. So return, it should give you back a dictionary wrapped in a result, the consolidated dictionary. Yeah, pretty good. Just make sure never to go back to Godot and accidentally nuke the file. All right. Oh no, I can feel my computer starting to buckle as well. Const, so this is documentation, const, append, res, unwrap. So handle prop, that gives you back a reference. Actually, there should be result, so I get a little better. A little better type hinting, and then we can just take out all of these. Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful now. So just use the same result for everything. Prop types, enum, documentation, enums, append. Okay, there we go. I think that's okay. Oh, and the last part is we need to unset the working doc. Working doc is equal to null. Yeah, always remember is once we finish processing the working doc, once we consolidate the working doc, we do need to set it back to null. I wonder if I should just have a function in it. So it's basically its own sentinel, right? It basically becomes its own sentinel. So this is the doc data. Yeah, that might be a better. It might be a better way of doing stuff. So this is like reset, right? So for prop and get property list, get prop name and ignored props. And we'll just continue because we don't want to touch those. Otherwise, var value. All right, this one we don't need. We can just do that. That's really easy. Because everything here is just a Godot value type. That's pretty neat. But then here, reset. What we'll want to do is then match against every single value. So match type of value. So this should be type array. So, how should this work? I guess this is val clear. I think that'll work because these are all reference types. So yeah, so if they are a dictionary or a array, that's pretty easy. Type dictionary, type string. This is set prop name is equal to an empty string. Otherwise, okay, so this should return a reference as well. Wonder why I was getting errors when I was trying to return results like that. I don't remember why. Why was I getting errors because of that? Because that should have been valid, but I don't remember why. Error code. Unhandled property. So this is prop name. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's why I did it. Okay. It's because the way that OK is implemented forces me to do that. Yeah. Because these return reference, because you can't have these return results because these don't have a class name. Yeah. So then there's your working data, or the working doc. Working class, I still need to think about. Oh, and then we can just do this as clear, and then this gets really easy. Yeah, so we clear this. We'll add a clear function to this. Func clear. Oh, well, it's okay. I'll just copy these over. It's not great, but it's good enough for what I need it for. For prop in, get property list, if prop name in, ignored props, then we'll just continue. Otherwise, what we'll do is var, we'll do, yeah, get problem name, and then we'll just call clear on whatever we get. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so then we never have any null values. Oh baby. My dream. Okay, then here, we don't null it, we clear it. Oh, but then how do I know if there's data inside of it? Oh. That's probably fine, actually, to depend on it being nullable. All right, that was a bunch of waste, or that was a waste. It was a bunch of wasted time, which is what I was gonna say before I decided to pivot whatever I was saying into something different. All right. Okay. Which means that these. So this is doc data. All right. So we'll just leave these as null. Okay. Bum bum. That's okay. This one's okay as well. Because this, yeah, this one just determines what we need to do. These are all good. Function needs to be handled similarly to the above. Let's grab all of this stuff, because these are always going to be the same. So we need to consolidate the docs. Or if they're always, well, it's because they're kind of always the same, but then how you handle it afterwards makes a difference. All right. Oh, well, that's handle func. This is handle prop. Yeah. So it's the error handling that looks the same. I almost confused myself. Now this is documentation, funcs, append, unwrap. It's okay, and then we'll null it. Yeah. This one is essentially the same. Blah, blah. Static functions are treated the same as just regular functions. They just have a funny name attached to them. Or, no, static function should be different. Doc data. These are essentially structs. They're structs with additional values attached to them. So array of doc data structs. Func. Okay. All right, so these won't consolidate very well, or this at least will require careful consolidation, or actually, no, it doesn't require careful consolidation. I don't need to that's a bit hard. Because this requires you to go inside of the thing. I guess what this can do, this can have a doc data associated with it. Yeah, okay, yeah. I can just reuse the file part. File level. File or class level. Yeah, it's like class level. Yeah, class level doc data, something like that. So if, yeah, okay, then we'll do this thing. And then var class doc, unwrap the error, or unwrap the results, I should say, inner class doc. So if working doc is not null, then inner class doc file is equal to working class doc. Yeah. Then documentation. Documentation classes append inner class doc. Doc is equal to null. So we'll null that out afterwards. Yeah, that's not so bad. This is handled, this is handled, this is handled. Okay, so now I just need to handle this, which is for the real documentation part. So I have these split up just for my own sanity. But here, so if line length is less than 1, so it just means that there's an empty line. So any doc string that's like this, if it's spaced out like that, will be considered to just be like a class level doc. So you need to be very careful about formatting, but you know, that's already GD script. It's Python style. All right. I'm gonna get some more coffee, BRB. Hello, hello. All right. So if working doc is not null, that means that we have a file level doc data, which means that I need to then consolidate the two. Okay, well that'll work, I guess. So res is equal to consolidate docs. Consolidate docs, so this is documentation file. Okay, and then this should be doc data new. Just so it's not wrong per se, then working doc. So if not res or res is error, so if res else. Give me this thing. Yeah. An absolutely cursed piece of code. I think I could actually. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely wrap this like so. So static func. Just error, something like that. So this will take some sort of result and then give you back a result. Yeah. And then some sort of param as well. Right. Code error. Or this is like a handler error. So return res if res. It's just a new. Oh, then this needs to be a reference. Error code. Generate docstring error. Something like that. Then if you do, return handler error, which should, in theory, be null safe. Something like that. Yeah, it's way easier to read for just a little bit more noise. Yeah, so it takes in the result and then returns it if it is not null. Otherwise, it's fine. And then this should never error out either because it's very, very simple. You know, famous last words. Wrapper for safely handling handler errors. Param. The result to return. Which is some sort of variance. The forwarded results. Yeah, okay. Okay. And for doc data stuff, I think this is, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So documentation. Well, actually, no, yeah, that should have just worked in line. So there's nothing to set. Yeah. Nothing to set. Since, consolidation happens directly on the yeah. Nothing to set since consolidation happens directly on the documentation object. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So then we should be able to just run this and it should just work. All right, well that happens. Get property list and base nil. Interesting. And also we're in like 8 different layers of stack frames. So this is under property. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I see. Because I didn't implement the other things yet. Okay, hold on. Just need to implement everything else. Yeah, okay. So how did I handle this? Doc is just a doc data new. Okay. So we need to do the same thing for every single one of these because we need to process just the headers. I think the headers are fairly simple. The headers are fairly simple, hopefully. These are the consolidation functions, don't really matter. But then we need to also handle class. Well, no, handle class doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. Then we just have these. And then if we just pass in these as return values. Results. Results. Okay, I think that's fine. So now we should be able to just run it and see if it works. All right, well, non-existent function in base nil. So I have a piece of null data. Handle code, working doc. So if you don't have a working doc, then there's nothing to consolidate. Sure. Okay, I see. Okay. So I think consolidate docs should handle this implicitly. So if doc string, oh no, because I can't, I don't want to set it on the actual object. Otherwise it will accidentally, we'll have an extra, oh, it's okay, we have an extra allocation. So doc string, so if doc string is null, then doc string is equal to doc data new. And so let me add a comment for myself. This gets cleaned up after consolidation. And then just add a to do. This is kind of gross. Because it is kind of gross, right? Alright. 0 occurred while scanning file. Doc generator. 6 occurred while scanning file. Heh. What do these errors mean? Error occurred while scanning file. Alright, so let's grab this text just so I can see. This is in the file name. I don't remember having any prints errors, so I shouldn't be printing error, I think. What the heck? Print error. That's in the parser. Okay, scan directory. Hey. And so these are all scanning file? Okay. Scan directory. So this should be in my runner code, so no, it's in main, actually. I lied. Where is main? Main text scene. Yeah. Then we go here. Let me see. So scan. Where's generates? Where's my generate button? File store string. The results. But That's the doc generated. Doc generated doesn't actually do anything at this point in time. A parser results is error occurred while parsing blah blah. Hey. That's weird. That's doc generator. This is parser results. This should be some sort of result. Oh, but I don't have actual result class loaded. The only thing it knows is that it's some sort of reference. So then, that's weird though. That's weird. We'll just string it, I suppose. Generates error occurred. Really? So in the parser, so these all will give you error codes, because scan directory, yeah, gives you back a reference. This gives you back a reference, yeah. Hey. Oh, I see. If error is okay, else results error. Results error. What kind of error is this? Guess it's just like parse error. Parse error. Parse error, I suppose, and then scan file, scan handle code, blah blah. What the heck am I doing? Oh, I see. Should be inner error to string. Then this one should also be inner error to string. And then this error, okay, yeah, okay. So this should give me something a little bit more specific. Number is required, yeah. One more time, generates. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right, so unhandled, these are all unhandled doc properties, huh? For the handlers, okay. But then why did I transform it? I should really be bubbling these up. Yeah, okay. What is your problem? Result? Can't you just do new for a result? No? New. Oh, okay. That's fine. Is okay otherwise. Okay, then this one, if error is okay, this one needs to change because I remember I used to not be using the entire result error syntax. So then I patched it instead. So we'll only want to bubble up one error at a time. All right, cool. So doc property, we're still not bubbling them up correctly because this should give me the property that it's throwing errors on. Unhandled doc property. Right, unhandled doc property should be one of these lower values. Unhandled doc property, yeah. And then parse results, error, blah, blah. This is from consolidate docs. And then they just return immediately. I wonder why it's not giving me back. Inner error to string. Oh, other occurred. And then there's also like a nothing. Parse error, other occurred. Hey, other occurred while scanning file. Oh, it's because it was bubbled up and then it just kind of didn't really work out. Oh, what am I doing? Just don't print it. Print one at a time. I'm getting super mind flooded from this. All right, so the error, parsing, error occurred while parsing. Error, code 2, name parse error. Sure. Oh. Yeah, then we'll just do this. Just return the error. Yeah, that's way more correct. Error occurred while parsing. Why is this not throwing this onto a different line? One more time, once more with feeling. Look at that. So, unhandled doc property, description other. So, why is that happening? Where is it? Where is that happening? Why is that not working out? Yeah, I mean that should work. You can consolidate 2 empty dictionaries. That should not pose a problem. As far as I understand it anyways. Consolidate docs. Alright, so let me just set some breakpoints really quickly. Boom, boom. I wanna see where it happens, because this is happening a few times. Okay. So this is, what property name is it? So the property is other. Do we not have a member value? Member value is a dictionary. How? What? It is a type dictionary, right? Member val. Member val, it's a dictionary. That's the type of. Match type of member val. Like, we're not checking to see if it's empty or not. Right? Yeah, member value, type of member value. Huh? Oh, I see. These should be breaks. I see. We need to break, don't continue. Break. That gets me sometimes. All right, now Trying to assign non-objects. So that's okay. What happened? Handle code. Oh, it gave me back okay for one of these. Okay. Handle code. Oh, I see. I see. Hold on. So what am I returning here? Let me see. So once I run through this inner piece of code, once I run through that inner piece of code, so the points of this block here, for this block here, is to help process like interior classes, inner classes, if you will. So class documentation. We'll process this as just its own file. We'll pretend like it's its own file. So let me think. 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 So this does work implicitly. So that was called documentation, and then working doc, which is a doc data, and then the working class. Okay, so that's what we can do. Is we can have this accept an inner class object. Or maybe we don't even need to have the working class. Yeah. We only need to add the working doc. Then we'll pass something in here. So, inner class, which is an inner class doc, equal to null. Or we'll call it like a documentation, right? Yeah, and then here we'll just have to check. So if doc is null, then doc is equal to documentation, I suppose. And then we just need to remember to work off of that documentation as opposed to other ones. So slap that in here. Slap that in here. Boom, boom. Doc. Doc classes, appends, blah, blah. And then this one will handle code. We'll create a var inner class doc is equal to an inner class doc new, and then we'll pass it in. Oh, that's not how you do it. New inner class doc. And then we just won't use the result at all, basically. Yeah. No, we'll set the doc. Everything should be That's kind of tough. All right. Because the working doc will not be... Well, actually, yeah. No, the working doc will be more or less correct, I think. So once we have a class... Oh, I see. I see. So we'll need to consolidate... Yeah, we'll need to consolidate the docs before we actually handle any code. Okay, so the order is a bit different when processing an inner class. Yeah, because of how the logic is laid out. So if working doc is not null, then we'll just apply that. So any documentation for the inner doc well, actually, yeah. Var inner doc. So this should be some sort of doc data. Yeah. So if working doc is not null, then inner class doc, and then we'll also need to consolidate it here. So res is equal to consolidate docs. So inner class doc, inner doc, and working doc. So if not res, or res is error, handler error. Yeah, okay. So we consolidate these two things, the inner doc and the working doc, then we'll need to working doc is equal to null. This one, we don't need it anymore. So there's nothing to unwrap here. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? So we'll run through the entire code process again. So this is actually a recursive function. So we'll recursive run through it, but then we'll also pass in a documentation object for us to use. If there is no documentation object, then we'll pass in a different doc. Oh, but then if you have multiple inner classes, this is gonna be tough. Okay, let me think. I'm gonna put my cup away so it doesn't like cake up with coffee. All right, I've got it. So instead of doing this, where we pass in a bunch of this stuff, we'll do var doc as some sort of documentation, right? Then we'll take out this. This is now the stack. Some sort of array, right? And then we'll do if stack size is greater than 0, then doc is equal to stack back. We don't push or pop anything off the stack. That should be handled by this logic down here. Not this logic, this logic here. So handle code, blah, blah, stack, append, inner class doc. So we'll always take the back of it, then we'll pass along this actual array. So this is kind of like an in-memory array. We don't ever hold onto it for too long. Yeah, then otherwise, doc is equal to the class level documentation thing. Yeah. And then here we can do stack pop back. Yeah. So it's like a doc stack, right? So add a param stack, which is an array. The stack of inner classes needed since inner classes can be nested. Yeah, and then we need to keep track of which class we're currently processing. And then once we finish processing the inner class, then we just pop it off. Yeah, so we append it, then pop back. And then once we start handling code, if there is anything on the stack, then we'll just take the top thing and then continue processing. Otherwise, we'll just use the global documentation thing. Yeah, that's a little complicated. It's a little complicated, but I think it'll work. That might have worked, sure. Possibly, I'm not sure. Let me see. What happens? No errors. Hold on. If we go back to main, so finished parsing. All right, parse me again. Parsed. Finished parsing. I feel like that didn't take any time at all. I feel like that was very quick. Maybe it was very quick because I didn't print anything. Oh, hold on. Parse. Actually, yeah. It's just the parser documentation to string. Sure. I think I just need to see what it is. All right, what's inside the documentation? Or what's inside the parser? So parser has a documentation object. Ooh, 109 variables and 54. I mean, that's not so bad. It only has one inner class though, which seems worrying. Then it has an inner doc and a file attached to it as well. That's probably fine. Doesn't seem very correct. Huh, okay. So I think there's a few problems here. Let me see. Let's adjust this so I can... We'll just print it. Yeah, there's no way to do this really easily. So I'll just patch this in really quick. Get prints are for prop in get property list. It's a bit hard actually. That's a bit hard. I think this is it'll probably be okay. It'll probably be okay. Give me this stuff. We'll remove this later. Okay, prop name in ignored props, then just continue. Otherwise, R var val is equal to get prop name. If val is array, then we'll do Or maybe I should just print these all to a string. That might be the slightly easier way of doing it. So we don't even hit it with a JSON print. We'll just have var r is equal to empty string. Yeah, because this is really just for debug anyways. So for I in classes, we'll do I equals, or I, or no. Give me a pass really quick. So file to string, that's pretty easy. Let's give me a new line, and then we'll just continue across every single one of these. Yeah, so r plus equals I to string plus equals this thing, new line. Yeah, okay. And we'll just copy and paste this a few times, I guess. Or actually, we don't even need to do that. We can just do for I in classes, vars, consts, enums, funcs, static funcs. Then we'll do for j in all of these, do j. All right, so that's gonna be gross, but it'll work. Send me. Ooh. All right. So that's why it's so quick, is because it's not giving me anything, which makes sense in retrospect. I suppose it's because like the consolidation isn't working how I think it's supposed to be working. Yeah, but what it should be doing is it should be hanging. Handle code. So this consolidates it, and then that does the stuff. Let me see. Run me. Extends reference. No, that's a text. This is line. Extends reference, so that should be nothing. Yeah. What is the line? Nothing. Const file is property. Then we'll go into here. Yeah, there's the stripped file. Bundled text. There's no bundled text. No errors. Yeah. Wait. Oh, I see. This logic's bad for processing properties. Okay. So this I need to do. I should probably not be doing these in two different editors, but as long as I've already saved, that should be fine. So if counts plus, or okay, we'll do plus equal, if counts plus equals 1 is greater than or equal to the code size, or I guess we should just do is less than code size, and then we'll do this, right? Or count plus 1, not count plus equals 1. If count plus 1 is less than the code size, then we need to do this. Oh, maybe I should just do... Hold on. Something is wrong with this logic. Maybe I can just take out this line and move it to the bottom. So there's stripped. If not... So if not line is property, then whatever else break and then count minus equals 1. So decrement it, because if it is a property, or actually, oh no, it could be like a ton of things. It could be a huge amount of things. So if you have a variable declaration right next to, oh, and then it's also getting the documentation for every single variable type. So they need to be stripped appropriately. So the way that I'm handling documentation for these things is a bit wrong. Or the way that I'm handling documentation for any property is a bit wrong. Okay, I see. So I need to pass along like the expected tab amount. Right, so for the current class, there will always be like a tab amount. So I think I can store that on the stack. Yeah. That's tough. That's tough though. Hold on. It's one of the problems of rolling your own parser. All right. Let me see. So I need the current tab amount. So I need to count how many tabs there are. Tab count, so 0. So this is needed for validating properties. Otherwise, vars declared inside funcs will be processed by accident. Okay. That's tough, but I think it'll work. We'll go down here. So inner class doc, and then I need to count the lines. Or no, I already have the tab counts. Yeah. So inner class doc is equal tab count is equal to tab count. Amazing. How does he think of these? Then here property, I need to check against the, oh, hello knock. Hello, how are you? That's a very dog-like duck you have there. How are you doing? Chonk. He is a very chonky lad, for sure. Yeah, I'm writing a doc generator. I actually already wrote a doc generator once, but then I didn't realize that Godot 4 actually introduced their own doc generator that is not going to be backported because it relies on their parser, and it's also extremely limited. No more markup. I am doing markup. I just need to re-implement it because I was doing it based off doc strings, but Godot 4 is going to be doing it based off of this weird like double pound sign. And as it turns out, going in the other direction is a bit tough. for whatever reason. So it kind of works, actually. It parses all the doc strings properly, but then once I start trying to consolidate, so you need to parse the entire doc string. That's easy, but then parsing the headers of functions and then also parsing variables. So each variable can also have a doc string, a la like Java. So if you want to do a Java style, that should also technically be valid. So I gotta think about it. So I'm realizing now that I've been parsing these incorrectly, or I've been parsing variables incorrectly. You sort of need a half GDScript parser then? Yeah, that's what I've kind of got. The code looks bad, but it's not as bad as you think it is. It does require a kind of inner stack, since you can have infinitely nested inner classes, or an arbitrary amount of inner classes, but I'm working on that. In theory, that works. In theory, it works. Let me see. What's hard is that I need to be able to pick up variables, or I don't want to pick up these variables because these are inside functions. So anything inside a function should not be picked up. But then I need to know what the expected tab count is. Ignore this toString. That's okay. So we can compare the tab count, but then I think if I'm doing that, I might as well just use a little bit of regex, which I've already written the regex for that. Let me see if I can find it. Or at least I've written it once. Also, you came at a very weird time. Oh, did my stream go down at any point? I see that oh no, never mind. My live time. Okay, I misread my live time. My internet's been spotty recently, but I'm coming at a very, very weird time in my life since I do need to drop off somewhat soon so I can go back to work. Are you keeping track of the block type? I am. Actually, I'm not really. What I'm actually doing is inside each block, like I keep a count, I keep an external count, and then I just loop through until it's no longer a recognized block. So you can see here, like while stripped begins with docstring, then we'll just keep looping through it. We'll advance through the text until it's no longer valid. Although, you know what? I'm looking at it again. This was working, but I think this might also be a fallacy since I also increment the count up here. Stripped. Yeah, because then if you have two variables right next to each other, they get discarded. Okay, I see. So it's a class block or a function block? Yeah, so they all work off the same idea. So function, I don't need to parse the entire function block, I just need to parse the header. And so in GDScript, it is valid to have a header like this. So I only need to advance once or twice, or have however many lines it spans until I find a line that ends in that, because you're not allowed, this is invalid, by the way. So you cannot just have a hanging colon, which simplifies things. So whenever we encounter a function, then we just advance until we find a corresponding end line, because every function must end in a colon. And so you cannot end them like that. Class blocks are similar. I think what I actually do for classes is I advance until I find until the tab indentation matches the starting indentation. basically, I think. I need to check how I'm parsing that again. But I'm looking at this now, and I'm like, man, something doesn't seem right about how I'm advancing through the blocks. Or it's almost like, yeah, it's like I should be doing this, count -1, and that should be more correct. Yeah, because I don't automatically add it to the bundled text every single time. So for this one, we need to decrement. Yeah. Right. So if it starts at docstring, while it starts with docstring, we'll append, count up, get the next line, check it, append, count up. But then here, we say this line starts with the docstring, so we append it, count up, get the next line. Or hold on, actually, don't I strip? No, yeah, no, yes. Splits. Allow empty. Yeah, okay. We check this one. Check it. See that it doesn't begin with a docstring, so then we need to count backwards. 1. Wait. Yes. So that when we increment again, it'll be correct. You know what? That's probably why I wasn't able to consolidate the 2 docstrings. Yeah, okay. I see. So I need to check everything else, because I think that logic was faulty. So then, while stripped, so if it's a property, so these are all properties. So if it's a property, so we just look for the first word if it's an enum. And then we check for the next valid empty line. So this would be an empty line. This would not be a valid. Actually, hold on. That's a bit tough. Oh, you know, I didn't realize, or I didn't consider that. I've considered it here. This looks valid. We'll think about it. Well, strip count is greater than 1. Okay, so this enum block is gonna break. Maybe I just won't handle it. Maybe I just won't handle it for now. I think this is bad. For function blocks, I need to think more about how I'm parsing properties. But even if I don't process them, I mean, as long as I don't handle them, they just won't be handled, obviously. But then once we start running through function blocks, so static functions and regular functions need to be handled slightly differently because I need to account for the static in them. So if I want to pull out the name, it's very specific. So bundle text. So once we hit this, if it starts with function or static function, whatever, so we'll use this one as an example. We see that it starts with function, add that to the text bundle, and then while the line does not start with a, or it doesn't end with a colon, then we'll just count up. If the count is greater than or equal to the code size, then we'll break. And so then we'll just process. Technically that would be an invalid function, but I guess that's okay. Then strip is equal to that thing, strip edges, bundle text, append. So we count up, add that to the thing. But if it, oh. Ooh. I see. So this is also wrong. It's just I haven't had any multi-line functions. Wait, no, we always append it with Okay, we always append it, so that's fine. I think we do need to decrement the count though. Wait, no. Wait, yes. If it does end with a colon, so like this. So func, append this line. Then, while not, the line ends with colon, so this doesn't end with colon, then we'll count up. Then add that to the list. And then we check it again. Okay, yeah. Okay. So this one, the counts is valid. Static shares the same stuff. Class is a bit more complicated, but should be fine because that relies on the stack, and then we just recursively handle the code. So we just call this entire function again, but with a different documentation object. Okay. I think that's probably okay. Are we still printing? Yeah, we are still printing, so. Okay, that's good, because we had a little bit of processing delay. Oh, but they're all empty. Why are they all still empty? So function should be pretty easy to determine. That's fine. So there's your result, and then we can check inside of the result. There's your value. And then you don't have, okay. Well, that's fine actually. Do I have any working data? So generates, oh, generate doesn't have any. Yeah, generate won't have any because generate is not commented out. Build string, to string, that's fine. Add param to dictionary, scan directory. All right, so blah, blah. Let me look at the results here. Oh, right. We're not looking at the result. We want to look at the working documentation, the working doc. So that has two return values. Well, not two return values, but it, it's a dictionary of size too. So there's a type and then the description, the error code. So that's scan directory, which is true, but it didn't parse the param correctly. That is the correct correct thingy. But then this is scan directory. I'm losing my mind. Why aren't there any params? Yeah, dictionary of size 0. Did I do something wrong here? While stripped begins with docstring, strip out the thing, and then also trim out the prefix if there is a prefix. Then we need to handle the docstring. Yeah. I mean, that should be pretty easy, right? I think I'm losing some data somehow. Parses a GD script file into a dictionary. I don't know which file I'm in. Parses a GD script file into a dictionary. Which one is this? Parses a GD script file into a dictionary. Parses a... All right, that's just the entire file, so we'll just continue on. That's fine. And then this is... begins with docstring. Our he... author. What? Ooh. All right, what's inside the results? No, it's just my name. So something is now broken. Where are we at? We're at 38, which should be here. I wonder if it is... Yeah. That's just my name. That's just my name. That's the line. And then the result, the bundled text is just that one line. So I guess something broke? What happened though? What's wrong with this logic? Huh. Because that is the current docstring, but it should not be separate. So while stripped begins with docstring, +1, really? Huh. Oh no, I'm already over town. I'm over time, I need to get back to work. All right, thanks for tuning in. I will be live on Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time working on stuff. Not sure, probably gonna finish this up on my off-stream time. But it's pretty close, I think. Or at least the docstring stuff was pretty close. I need to get back to work. Kubernetes clusters on mainframes with very limited resources, even though it's a mainframe. Very painful. Anyways, take it easy. Goodbye.